Hi guys, today we're going to talk about reading a circle graph. Before you do anything, I need to go ahead and add something to it that I totally forgot. Over here next to where it says the Disney movies, we're going to write total surveyed equals 200. And down here by class election results, we're going to put total votes equals 100. Okay, and I'll tell you why I did that. A circle graph is a graph that shows how different parts compare to a whole. So you'll probably notice a circle graph kind of looks like what we use when we have fractions where it's cut into different parts. That's because this doesn't necessarily represent a number of people. It represents a group or a percentage of people. So they display data as part of a whole, and all those parts add up to equal 100% or one whole group. Please, please, please know that that does not mean that only 100 things are represented. Sometimes it does, not very often though. So to figure out the number of things in the set represented by each piece, represented, woohoo, should be an R right there. You're going to have to do some math. You're going to have to multiply the percentage by the total to figure out how many things are in each piece. Okay, so two questions that we're going to work on. One is talking about the percent of people, and we have our percentages written down. The other one's talking about the number of people in each piece. Now, we should know it's a circle graph. It has percentages. That means it's going to equal 100% altogether when I'm talking about just the percentage. However, this whole pie graph represents 200 people. So, what percent of people said that Pinocchio was their favorite? Since we're talking about percent, we're not talking about 200, we're just talking about the percentages here. If I look at Pinocchio, I'll notice there's no percentage written underneath of him, but everyone else does have a percentage. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to add up all of these other percentages. I have 10 plus 11 is 21, 14 and 15 is 19, and then I have 22. When I add those together, it gives me 12, 2, 4, 5, 6. 6. Yeah, 6. All right. Now what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to subtract 62 from 100 because whatever's left is going to be this piece right here. So it's going to become 10, 9, 0. 10 minus 2 is 8. 9 minus 6 is 3. So this is going to be 38%. So 38% of people said that this was their favorite. Pinocchio was their favorite. If I wanted to do 100% minus 10%, minus 11%, minus 14%, minus 15%, minus 22%, I would have ended up with 38 eventually. I just need to know that all the percentages from this entire circle should add up to 100. All right, now we're going to switch gears and we're going to talk about how many people said either Pinocchio or Cars was their favorite. This time I need the number of people, not the percent. So there's 200 people total surveyed. I know that 11% said Cars was their favorite, and I now know 38% said that Pinocchio was their favorite. So I'm going to have to go ahead and figure out how many people each of those represent. To figure out the number of things being people here, are presented in a set, I'm going to multiply the percentage by the total. I'm going to write my percentage as a fraction because that's the easiest way to do it. Because I know 11% means 11 over 100. And I'm going to multiply that by the total number of people. 200 whole people were surveyed. So I'm going to write 200 as a fraction. And since it's a whole number, I know the denominator is going to equal 1. I'm going to cross simplify because that's going to make my life easier. 11 and 1 can't be simplified. 100 and 200 can though. 100 goes into both of those numbers. So 100 divided by 100 equals 1. 200 divided by 100 equals 2. So I'm going to end up with 22 over 1, which equals 22 people. That's how many people like Cars best. Now what I need to figure out is also how many people like Pinocchio, and I'm going to add those numbers together. So again, I'm going to multiply the percentage, 38, which I can write as 38 per 100, or percent, times the total number of people surveyed, which is 200. And since that's a whole number, I'm going to write it over 1. Again, 38 and 1 cannot be cross-simplified, but 100 and 200 can, and I just did that, so I'm going to go ahead and rewrite that. All right, so I'm going to multiply. 38 times 2 equals 76. 1 times 1 equals 1. So that's 76 people. So I'm going to add those two numbers together, 22 plus 76, and I'm going to get 98 people. I'll write that in my box right here. 98 people said that Cars or Pinocchio is their favorite. You're probably thinking, that's almost all of 100%, but that's not a percentage. That's the number of things in a data set. Here it's going to be a little easier because I made the number of total people or total votes the same as a percentage. So I'm going to have you guys try. There's 4 problems. There's actually a 5th problem on the back that I'm going to have you do as well. All right, have a good one.